Dimensions End. Okay, so Dimensions End to me was the most intimidating piece of content beyond the first two. Entropy was the one that was kind of bananas. So long ago, which is like not that long ago, but there was a point in time where I wasn't sure how I wanted to tackle this, but I knew that my strategy was pretty straightforward, and it was just like clear one thing at a time and don't really look ahead. Because after you clear something, you can always go back and like clear it with a different group of people if you need to free up units or whatever. So like for instance, I cleared tier 2 with Ultimecia and Porum, like before Ultimecia had an LD, like when everyone was still like level 60 or whatever. So if I needed her later, I could just go back and clear tier 2 again. Hey, thanks so much. But I know that when I look at Dimensions End, the rewards you get from it are fantastic for upgrading your EX weapons and realizing them. So it was kind of a necessity that I needed to start going through the content. So my only real plan is, and maybe it's evident here, was that I figured that each tier probably needed a healer. So I, very early on, was just keeping track of the characters I had weapons for, and I was like, alright, like, if I can get away with not using a healer, good. But healers were pretty much my rare commodity. Was like support, yeah, supports are king in Dimensions End. So it was like I need a healer and or a support. And then save tanks for the fights where you really need them. So I pretty much went at this like my healer here was Lena, Bartz was supporting. My healer here in support was Porum. My healer here was Rosa, which worked out somehow. My healer here was Aphmau, Kamari Ronzo, and Selfie. Here was Ark, here was Aerith. Like, that's pretty much like my main focus when I look at these things. Like, who was my healer? Beatrix and Raijin, Freya. So the other characters, you just kind of like jam them into the slots, right? So you're just like, alright, cool, like I have a healer. Now I need someone that does damage. And now I need someone that can just be there. So for most of these, I think I brought like 2 characters that were like actually built, and 1 character that was not built. So basically, Dimensions End, going through this, I just pretty much was like, alright, I need a healer, and this situation I didn't need a healer, I just needed a tank. So Bosch is here, and that's pretty much how we climbed the entire way up to this point. Which this was a really funny fight, for anyone that remembers this one. This is the one where we were doing like 12k damage a turn. And we won anyway, because we had a healer, so it didn't matter. But yeah. And then this one was also like a cakewalk with Elden Arch. But yeah, that's Dimensions End. So basically, how many characters do you need? You probably need 2 real characters, and by real characters, I mean 2 characters that are actually built and make sense. And then 1 whatever character that could be like half naked. So because there's 18 tiers, if you're thinking like end game, big game stuff, long game, you need 36 built characters, and then 18 whatever characters. There's some situations where you can solo them, but that's pretty much how that rolls. So that's kind of where I am at with Dimensions End, and hopefully that's helpful to someone somewhere. But that's pretty much how I tackle it. I was like, I'm gonna bring a healer, support, and a damage dealer, and then that's it. So.